Okay, we're at the Opiate Awareness event, and we have a gentleman here who's here to talk. Sir, what's your name?
Kevin Lynch.
Now, Kevin, what brought you to this event tonight?
The importance of the awareness of, the opiate problem here, specifically in Fitchburg. It's so heavy. I've lost a few friends in the street, to heroin overdoses, and we just have a real bad epidemic here. And, we really need to do more for it and address it more in terms of, we're working on needle exchange, and we're hopefully going to the state to ask them to give us funds to give immediate rooms for those people suffering an addiction that are willing to go right into recovery.
Now, what are the best way, obviously the best way to avoid addiction is to avoid the drug to begin with. What are the steps from what you've seen? What are the things that a city or state can do or community can do to help keep people from starting along the lines of addiction?
I think the important thing is, of course, in the schools, the young kids, and getting the parents involved. I mean, when I was a young kid, we had, commercials that were public awareness commercials. This is your brain on drugs with a, fried egg and, different things. I think the absence of that leaves it wide open to these kids for peer pressure, and, there's so much going on. They're just really, a lot of people are pressured, and then they take the shot and they give it a try and they get addicted. Grabs them in.
Now, there was a story today on WTAG saying that programs like this have been causing some of the drug dealers a little grief because they get worried when they see the community organizing. Is that, from what you've seen, is that something that's true? Are these events useful along those lines?
Well, I'm happy if they're upset, because that's great competition. I love to win that one. They'll have to get a real job and stop selling the poison that they distributed to our kids. I know we're a tough economy for jobs and everything, but you make choices, and selling poison to children, families are affected, not just the person. As you see here today, a lot of people lost their loved ones, and mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters, daughters, the list goes on. It's just so horrible of an addiction.
If there's one thing you would like to see be done, if there's one thing that you could walk away from here with, what is the one thing you'd like to hear tonight more than anything else?
Well, I see that we have, some city councils here tonight, and, I'd like people to start walking the talk, and getting things done, and actually giving the resources and giving the people like myself and others in the community that, have many years clean, have 22 years clean, give us the opportunity to go out and do outreaches to the community and try to pull these people back off the street, because they are worthy. No one wants to become an addict. No one is born and to think, that that's what they want to become, is an addict. It's an unfortunate spiral situation.
Now, you mentioned I was going to close with that question, but you mentioned something. You mentioned that you're 22 years clean, which presumes that you weren't clean before. What made the difference for you?
For me personally, it was really a real tragic event in my life, and it was a big awakening. And somebody told me, in recovery, before I got into recovery, they tried to push me through. They said, one day you're going to wake up in a jail cell and not know what happened. You're going to be charged with a horrible crime. And, that's what happened, and it was my reality, and since that time, 22 years ago, I've stayed away from it. I've made that personal decision to, unfortunately, a lot of people are arrested for small offenses and they don't get that shock or awakening, and they think they have more bottoms to reach, but, we have to educate them and just get through to them when they're clean, to show them and express to them that their families are suffering greatly. Their loved ones are worried that they're going to die. They're happy when they go to jail because they know they're safe. They know where their children are. And we can't leave it at that. I think we can do a lot better, an honest approach.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, sir.